A novelist named Tom Robbins once said that one has not only an ability to perceive the world, but an ability to alter one's perception of it. More simply, one can change things by the manner in which one looks at them. Now, the reason I want to share this quote with you is because I think it embodies a really important lesson, that your perception is your reality. I truly believe that no matter what situation you are in, regardless of it being objectively good or bad, you get to choose whether it is actually a good or bad experience, and get to choose what you get out of it. Hi, my name is Auden Meland, and for my SLE, I worked in a metal fabrication shop. During this time, I got to learn how to weld, fix up cars, and create metal art, and build virtually anything out of metal. While metalworking was not my first choice of what I wanted to do for my SLE, I was able to turn it into a really cool and meaningful experience. Besides being profusely told by my lovely science teacher that you get out what you put in and perception is reality over the past 4 years, my SLE was the first time I really used that lesson. During my first day of SLE, I was tasked with creating a metal box to help get familiar with a lot of the tools and machines in the shop. I decided on what dimensions I wanted the box to be, drew it out on a piece of metal, cut and folded it, then attached the corners together by hammering in rivets. At first glance, and when I started making this box, I was just making a plain box, nothing too exciting about it. But once I thought, this is actually pretty cool. I'm learning how to make virtually anything right now. I stopped viewing as what I was doing as just making a box and viewed it as learning the process of creation. Making this box allowed me to learn about the creative process and helped put me into the mindset of wanting to learn. Over the next 3 weeks I was on SLE, any project I got to watch or help with had the same basic steps in creative process as making the box on the first day. There we go. Think of your idea, plan it out, then execute your vision. Whether it was putting a new bed on a truck, creating new table legs, or cutting a swirl out of metal, it all follows those same steps. A process I wouldn't have learned if I was still in the mindset of just making a box. However, I did do a lot more during this time than just make a box. I got to learn how to fix up cars and how to measure custom parts for them. I got to learn how to use a plasma cutter to create art. And I got to learn what it takes to run a metalworking shop. I also got to learn to use a bunch of different machines and tools, including 2 different welding machines, a MIG welder and a TIG welder. MIG stands for metal inert gas, and is a type of welder you would commonly see. It is used for everyday welding like car repair, construction, and residential work. TIG stands for tungsten inert gas. It is used for very precise welds like on pipelines or spacecrafts. Learning how to use these machines was definitely a challenge at first, but learning how everything around us is put together was actually pretty cool and a lot simpler than I thought originally. Another thing I learned was that almost any metal object in your life is made out of the same 2 machines. The wheels of your car, the pen you write with, and the chair you're sitting on right now are all primarily made from a milling machine and a lathe. A milling machine cuts down pieces of metal into different shapes, while a lathe shapes metal and can engrave it and hollow it out. This is another discovery I wouldn't have made if I was just using a machine and not looking at the bigger picture of what I was doing. Learning the process behind how things are made and being able to look at the bigger picture of how everything around us is created is an opportunity I am very thankful I was able to have. Again, one I wouldn't have done if I was just making a box. As I said previously, doing metalwork was not my first choice for my SLE. I was much more interested in something that involves astrophysics or biology, as that's what I want to study in college. But in the end, I still got to work with science. The process of creating something with metal is fairly similar to the scientific method. And also lets us observe how the world has gotten to where it is today. Just instead of the natural world, the man-made one. Something I learned was that you can apply science, the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world, through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained, to anything. You just have to change your perception of what you are doing. Changing how you think of what you're doing not only affects how you feel about it, but what you get out of it. If you want to get something specific out of an experience, like learning how to use science in the workplace, it's there. You just have to change your mindset to look for it. Aside from learning about a specific career, I feel the overarching purpose of this opportunity is to learn important life lessons and things that will help you in the future. And I think I learned one of the most important lessons there is to learn, that you get to choose what lessons you do and don't learn. And on that note, I would like to leave you with the echo of my science teacher once more. You get out what you put in, and how you perceive the world is the reality you live in. Thank you.